Now, I want to recap. So, you got to know what is it that you're desiring to get into this relationship for. Because as you know, if your only purpose is the physical interactions, that physical interaction will not bring any bond. And in order to be bonded, you got to see how many things you have in common. So first you got to know, am I really going into because of desire? Because desire cannot bond with anything. Desire is about what you want. And what you want is exactly the fact that you desire that person, to be with that person, covers up all the other reasons that you may not like that person, because of the excitement, that coating on the icing on the cake doesn't let you see the ingredients of the cake. It's so pretty, it's so shiny that you really don't care about what's inside at that moment, and you say, I just want that person. And therefore, you really don't focus on understanding if that person is something that you can understand. You go about it with your desire. And your desire is incapable of bonding. Desire is about what things that you want, your selfishness. And once all those things, after a few months in a relationship, all those novelties go away, then suddenly you become awake that, there are things that I really want, which is not really all these desires that I wanted at the beginning. There are other things that I want on a daily basis. And yet, I now don't have the icing on the cake to tolerate all these differences that I can see now. I'm awakened. The icing of the cake is gone. Now the ingredient, and I don't like the ingredients. So it is very important to begin with not to be so infatuated by the excitement of the new thing and novelty, and try to understand what's in the cake. And then you be able to see if you can cope with it and you can make something together or not. If you want to build something, you got to look at the foundation. The foundation should be sound. And that foundation is in our psyche. It is our content of consciousness. Not just the way we look, or about the money we have, the kind of cars we have. So stop jumping around from this to that just because something went wrong and didn't work out and it's not the way you wanted it. It went wrong, it doesn't work because the content of consciousness. So try to understand each other more and deal with it rather than jump to another branch and another branch, another branch. And soon after, eventually, even when you settle down, because you've created this habit of jumping to another one, if things don't work, you will always be breaking your relationships and think that, well, I got to go to the next ride. Perhaps I like that one. But first, you got to like yourself and know exactly why you're going to the relationship. So number one is, what is it that you're going to the relationship for? What do you want out of it? Number two, the physical attraction is not love, and it's just the interest generator. Is the third, is the physical attraction or both, is it physical attraction only, or is it both physical and mental? The mind and the body, the tip of the iceberg and the significant part of the iceberg, which is the invisible part. Now, number four, are the consciousness tolerant of each other? Can you communicate with each other? Can you consider the differences at the conscious level, or you're just infatuated with how things are shiny? Those shininess of everything goes away, and eventually you got to wake up and smell the coffee. So number five, are we drastically changing our order? Remember, we had an order before we came to a relationship. And are we drastically changing this order, the way we were doing things and interacting with life? If that's so, then we got to deal with it right away, not wait for a little while and then suddenly say, oh, so many differences that I didn't notice. No, that's why it's not working. So pay attention to the details. Number six, are we focused on trying to have these two different orders work together? Or we just focus on the aesthetics and, again, the things that we have, the way we make each other feel and how pretty we are and this and that and so forth, or how much money we have. Are we only focused on that, or are we really focused on trying to make these two different orders that come from different places now become compatible and work together? And number seven, are we considering each other's order? Do we actually think that the reason that this person is not doing it that way or saying that way or feeling that way is because of his or her content of the consciousness, the way they had their order, not because they're trying to fight with me, not because they really don't want to cooperate with me or understand me. It's because that's how they're made. So let's work through that rather than thinking, oh, I got to fight. I got to, go into a battle and win. I'm the leader. My way goes first. And the last one, are we willing to build a new order? And that's where everything starts working or falls apart. So now that we've shared as much as I could, as fast as I could, because there was so much to talk about, let me see if you have any questions, and maybe I can answer some of them before we end today's talk, and wait for the next time that we will have more time for the question and answer.